Welcome back to another video. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name is Aiko and I'm an illustrator and visual development artist based in the Netherlands. This will be my first time filming a draw with me style-like video, and this will be my first ever products review. Yeah, I'm really excited, so let's jump right in. Today we'll be reviewing this Arrtx acrylic marker set. Just to be absolutely clear on this video is not sponsored and I have not been paid by Arrtx. They sent me these markers for free and I will be giving an unbiased review of my first impressions and experience. Let's start by talking about the packaging. The markers come stored in this very nicely designed box. This is the 60A set, to be specific. Inside the box were also these two sticker sheets. The one with the tiny circles are to stick to the bottom of the pens. But I honestly have no idea what the larger stickers are for. Maybe multi-use, I guess. I'm not that big of a fan of how the markers are stored upside down. I feel like the ink will pool towards the nib of the pen, which might cause a huge mess, but luckily that didn't actually happen. When I opened some of the markers for the first time, I could see some of the ink was trying to get out. One of the nibs even had a paint bubble coming out. I tried to film it, but my camera was not working with me, so I don't actually have any footage of it. Another thing I wasn't that excited about was having to stick the stickers on by myself. I was really excited when I just got them and immediately wanted to use them, but I felt a bit held back by first having to stick these stickers on. And also this process took me quite a while, so that was, not that much fun. These pens have a brush nib and they feel actually really great. They're not too hard or soft. I feel as if I can quite easily control the brush. I would almost describe them as buttery even. So far the nibs have also stayed intact for me, no splitting at the ends when using them for a while. Mind you, as of recording this, I've only used them for a few weeks, so this might happen in the future, but so far they're just perfect. The pens themselves are also quite nice to hold. They feel quite light in my hand, which I also really like. And it makes it easier to bring along if I go outside to draw. The colors on the pen caps and the backs match quite okay. Some of them match really well, some of them not so much. So I would recommend you make some swatches first. While drawing, I actually almost always refer back to my swatch sheet that I made when I first got them. I also really enjoy the range of colors available in this set. A good mix of light and darker colors, and the green ones are especially my favorite. What I love is how the paint doesn't bleed through the paper. I've used them in this cheap little sketchbook, and if you can see on the back of each page that I use them on, there is hardly any trace of bleed or even that the paper wrinkles a bit. So they're really nice to use in a sketchbook as well. I was also very excited to try the neon and metallic markers in this set. I usually don't really work with those colors. But now that I've tried these, I think I'll be using them way more often for my art now. I'll be making two art pieces. One in my sketchbook where I almost only use their markers, and one where I use them with a bunch of other art supplies. For the first drawing I made, the one that you can see on the screen right now, I didn't really have a plan. I just knew that I wanted to doodle in my sketchbook, preferably while sitting outside, and it happened to be a really nice sunny day, so that's exactly what I did. But after sitting down for a while and just thinking about what I wanted to doodle, nothing came up. Maybe because of the pressure that I knew that I was doing this for my first review and draw with me. So for a little help, I went on Pinterest to hunt for some reference images. There are also quite a few green colors in this set, so that inspired me to look for something very summer-like with a lot of green colors, nature-based, preferably with animals. And I found these pictures of these really cute geese. When I saw this picture, I just knew I had to draw them. Oh, and another thing I wanted to mention about the markers. The colors themselves also layer really nicely. You can add light colors on top of the darker ones. I have noticed that after using the lighter ones for a while, or just some colors in general, that their opacity on the darker colors does get less. I'll point it out later in the video, but at one point, one of the lighter colors, you can see that they start to feel a bit more watery instead of like a full opaque color. So sometimes I had to go back and do multiple layers of some colors. And I'm not sure if this was because of how I used them or just because of the substance of some of the colors, just the formula of them. But do keep that in mind. I would recommend swatching the colors on top of each other first on a separate piece of paper instead of using them for the first time on your actual art piece, just to see how the colors react on top of each other. Another thing to note is that you can't mix the colors very well. Now, I personally don't see this as a bad thing, but it is useful to know, since it can really affect the art style you're going for. I think these markers work perfectly for a more graphic style art, or just as a base color or a more flat color block. Some of these colors I've used quite a bit already, and I've noticed that the more you use them, or the more often you use them, they can become a bit more streaky. I'll show an example of a piece that I use them for here. But in general, I would say that some pens just have better, how do I say this? Ink flow than others. I read somewhere that someone experienced this as well, and they held the markers with the nib down for a while, and that solved the problem for them. I personally haven't tried this yet, but I did want to share this knowledge I found with you guys anyway, in case you want to try this out for yourselves. Something I found out while recording was that Arrtx stated on their website that they advise you to store the pens with the tip down. Take my advice of not storing them upside down at your own will. I will continue on not storing them like that, but like I said, they did state on their website that they actually advise you to do so. I mainly used pinks and peach-like colors for the geese themselves. The first color I chose was this very light peach color. I'll put the code of the color on screen. At first I wanted to use a brownish color for the darker shadow parts of the geese, but there aren't that many variations of browns in this marker set, so instead I went with a darker pink. I think this gives the geese a really dreamlike and soft appearance, which I love how it turned out. I'm really proud of it. I do think that these markers would be a fantastic gift to give to someone who's into art or trying to get into art. They are really easy to use, they're very beginner friendly, and they're so much fun to experiment with, so I'm sure your artist or aspiring artist friends would be really happy receiving these. I was having a lot of trouble filming this. My camera battery kept dying and I didn't want to wait for it to be fully charged again to finish my drawing. While I was drawing this, it was already getting a bit more in the afternoon and the sun was starting to set, so I just wanted to continue on. I did also film this for some short video content, so I'll just be showing that on screen so you can at least see how I finish this piece and I don't leave you halfway through on a cliffhanger. Yeah, it is a bit sped up, of course. That's the nature of short form content, but yeah. Yes, so this is the finished piece. It worked out surprisingly well. I had a great time just experimenting, exploring how things work. Yeah, I'm really proud of the little geese drawing. Then I also made this gonzo with the markers. After I made the geese drawing, that has this very soft, fairy-like feeling, I just wanted to draw something very funny with popping colors. And yeah, Gonzo was just the perfect subject for that. For the second drawing, I wanted to try to make something on a bit more of a fancy paper. I chose this Canson aquarelle paper. If I were to compare these markers with any other markers I've used before, and mind you, I haven't tried that many, I would most closely compare them to Posca markers. They are both paint markers that you can use on multiple surfaces and are quite opaque. I would say that the paint from the Posca markers feel a bit thicker than the Arrtx markers. Also, when I used Posca markers before in the past, they tend to give off this weird, like, fuzzy stuff sometimes, which can make it really annoying if you want to layer the colors. That might be my fault, that I'm doing something wrong when I'm using them, I don't know, but so far none of the Arrtx markers have had this problem for me, and I've been able to layer them really easily. They have a really smooth and easy to work with surface. Another difference between the two is that Posca markers can be reactivated by shaking them and pushing the nib down a few times. This makes more of the paint come out. But the Arrtx markers don't have this option, so if the paint gets less, you can try holding them nib down for a while, like I said before, but I don't know how long that would take to get them to a regular paint/ink flow again. These pens can be bought in a set of 60, which makes each pen about 77 euro cents. There is also an option to buy the markers separately. They are priced 150 on the Arrtx website, though I can't find them in euros. I had to look around for a while since I didn't find the option on the website itself at first, but there is an option to buy the pens separately. This was my first time drawing on this drawing board easel-like thing. Ever since I went full-time as a freelance artist, I've been looking for ways to take better care of my posture and just my joints in general. This is my income now. I really have to take care of my body so it'll be able to produce art for a long time. I usually just went full shrimp mode when drawing, and I really need to stop that habit. So, and to try to break this habit, I went looking for easels, drawing boards, and I saw this one at IKEA for quite a cheap price that I bought and just tried out for the first time in this video. I'm gonna be honest, I had a hard time at first. I am not used to sketching like this, and I noticed that my hands were a lot more unsteady than they usually are. You won't be able to see this on camera probably, but some of the lines I put down were very shaky, which was a bit frustrating at first. I'm also someone that really likes to turn my paper, just so I can place the paper in a way where I can get the most steady lines. And having the paper stuck to the board like this prevented me from turning the paper around so much, of course, so that was also something I had to get used to. Anyway, we pushed through, we gotta do what we gotta do. So I'll definitely keep using this. I do really think it helped my posture. I did have a bit of a sore arm afterwards, just because I'm not used to keeping my arm up so often. But yeah, we'll learn to work along with this. Lately, I've been having this fascination with quilt patterns in my drawings. I've been sketching them a lot and thinking about color palettes that I can use along with these patterns. They're often these just fun and simple designed blocks, and just the focus on the colors I find really inspiring to see how these can contrast with these simple shapes actually and just still make something so aesthetically pleasing to look at. I just think they're so much fun and I constantly want to draw them, so I saw this as a large inspiration for this piece that I'm currently making. And another thing I've also been drawing a lot are cats. Honestly, I've always just been drawn to drawing cats. They're very easy, fun and cute to draw. So combine the two, quilt patterns and a cat, boom, cat in a quilt jacket. Perfect. I would love to have this quilt jacket in real life though. Oh my god. I can already picture myself just styling it and wearing it every day. Maybe one day this jacket will become a reality. But for now, we just dream on and draw it instead. I wanted to make it a little bit less flat and graphic designy looking. Here I try to use pencils to give some extra texture and depth to the drawing. Luckily you can quite easily layer the pencils on top of the paint of the markers. Since the surface is so flat, they can work really well together. The pencils that I use are from Faber-Castell, and I think they're the Prismacolor or Polychromos. I'm not 100% sure. I'll put a picture or the name of the pencils I've used up on screen. These are some of the only pencils that I have. My parents bought these a few years ago for me to invest in my art career, and I've been using them ever since. I love them. And as of lately, I've been experimenting with them more, just making more colored illustrations and sketches even in general. Yeah, my sketches have turned more from studying shapes and compositions into more color experimentation and stuff. I also feel like I'm starting to get more of a feel on how colors work with each other, and that just makes me really excited about the future of what kind of art pieces that I'll be making. I originally made a sketch for this piece in my teeny tiny sketchbook, and that version had a cat with some large glasses on. This is usually basically how I draw myself, just girl with beret and large glasses. You could say this cat is my persona, but let's not go there. Anyway, but while making the official piece, I wasn't sure if I wanted to add the glasses to it. It might have been just a bit too much going on, so I didn't incorporate the glasses in the end. But I did keep second guessing myself. So instead of just committing and drawing the glasses onto the piece itself, I cut out these glasses of some A4, just regular printer paper, and held them in front of the drawing to see if I would like it with the glasses or not. Very easy, no commitment. And I think it just looks really funny looking back. Just this really crudely cut out paper. But I still think it would have looked cute with, but I'm also very happy with how it turned out without the glasses. Also, another thing to note, I just want to say that I find it really cool for Arrtx to reach out to smaller creators. Not gonna lie, when I first got their email, I actually thought it was spam at first. I don't have that big of a following yet. As of recording this, I don't even have 200 subscribers here on YouTube, so I was really amazed when I actually got these markers through in the mail. I think it's so cool that they support emerging artists, and yeah, I had such a great experience with them and also with the markers themselves as well. I had a great time. I don't really have anything more to say right now, so I'll just put on some background music and come back later. was it for this video, this draw with me and review in one. I hope you had a great time watching, and thank you so much if you're still listening. It genuinely means a lot to me. If you're interested in getting these markers for yourselves, there will be some links in the description. I had such a great time drawing these two pieces and experimenting with acrylic markers. I have been reaching for them a lot ever since I got them, and yeah, I would really recommend them. If you'd like to support me and my art even further, you can check out my other social media accounts. You can find the links for them in the description. I really hope to see you in the next one. I hope I'll be able to upload that very soon. It'll be about my journey to becoming a full-time illustrator. Yeah, I hope to see you for the next one, and bye bye!